If you don't know anything about the Fast and Furious thing, you are forgiven. But if you have heard about it from your uncle or because you happen to be visiting tonight from Fox, hello, I hope you will forgive me while I explain that Fast and Furious refers to a law enforcement strategy that started during the George W. Bush administration. It was a program to let some sketchy gun sales go through in the hopes that following those guns after they were sold could lead the ATF to Mexican drug kingpins that they could arrest.
By the way, do you know the differences between wide receiver and Fast and Furious?
I mean, do I know that they're different operations?
Right. And so do you know the differences, the factual differences between wide receiver and Fast and Furious?
I know that, well, I mean, there are a number of differences, both, I think, in scope, both in terms of time. The Bush administration was the one that started wide receiver. The Obama administration is where Fast and Furious began.
Are you winging this, or do you actually know?
I know this.
You know this? Do you know that wide receiver was done in conjunction with the government of Mexico, and the intention of the plan was to follow the weapons, and neither was there the intention to follow the weapons on Fast and Furious, nor did Mexico know that the United States government was allowing guns to walk into the hands of the cartels. Did you know that?
Senator, I have not tried to equate the two. I've not tried to equate wide receiver with Fast and Furious.
I'm just asking you if you know the differences between the two.
Sure, and as what I know about wide receiver, what you have said is in fact correct. There are memos that talk about gun walking that are related to wide receiver, but again, I'm not trying to equate the two.
Now, whatever you think of that style of law enforcement program, and the George W. Bush administration starting it and the Obama administration continuing it, break their windows, break them now guy, is where the whole Fast and Furious thing came from.
But one of the men on the front lines of the drug war is telling a very different story to CBS News, making an accusation that could cost him his job. An agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms claims the agency has a policy that is actually putting guns in the cartel's hands. Here's investigative correspondent Cheryl Atkinson.
John Dodson, a federal agent, says what he was asked to do was beyond belief.
You were intentionally letting guns go to Mexico.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, the agency was.
An alcohol, tobacco, and firearms senior agent assigned to this Phoenix office since 2010, Dodson's job is to stop gun trafficking across the border. Instead, he says he was ordered to sit by and watch it happen. Investigators call the tactic letting guns walk, in this case into the hands of criminals who would use them in Mexico and the U.S. Dodson's bosses say that never happened. Now he's risking his job to go public.
I'm boots on the ground here in Phoenix and telling you we've been doing it every day since I've been here. Here I am. Tell me I didn't do the things that I did. Tell me you didn't order me to do the things that I did. Tell me it didn't happen. Now you have a name on it, you have a face to put with it. Here I am, someone now. Tell me it didn't happen.
Agent Dodson and other insiders say the gun-walking strategy was approved all the way to the Justice Department. The idea was to see where the guns ended up, build a big case, and take down a major cartel. And it was all kept secret from Mexico.
ATF named the case Fast and Furious.
He's got a whole bunch of cases.
This surveillance video obtained by CBS News shows suspected drug cartel suppliers carrying boxes of weapons to their cars at a Phoenix gun shop. Those long boxes being loaded into the red car are AK-47 type assault rifles.
He's on a gun, carrying another, appears to be 5 boxes of hard case Pelican that would hold a pistol.
So it turns out ATF not only allowed the guns to walk, they videotaped it. Documents show the inevitable result. The guns ATF let go began showing up at crime scenes in Mexico. And as ATF stood by, watching thousands of weapons hit the street, the Fast and Furious Group supervisor noted the escalating Mexican violence. 958 killed in March 2010, the most violent month since 2005. The same email notes, our subjects purchased 359 firearms during March alone, including numerous Barrett 50 caliber rifles.
Did you feel that ATF was partly perhaps to blame for the escalating violence in Mexico and on the border?
Yes, ma'am. I even asked them if they could see the correlation between the two. The more that our guys buy, the more violence that we're having down there.
Senior agents, including Dodson, told us they confronted their supervisors over and over.
And what was the answer? What did they say?
If you're going to make an omelet, you got to scramble some eggs.
There was so much opposition to the gun walking that an ATF supervisor issued this email noting a schism among the agents. Whether you care or not, people of rank and authority at headquarters are paying close attention to this case. We are doing what they envisioned. If you don't think this is fun, you're in the wrong line of work. Maybe the Maricopa County Jail is hiring detention officers, and you can get $30,000 to serve lunch to inmates.
We just knew it wasn't going to end well. There's no way it could.
Then, on December 14, 2010, Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was gunned down. Dodson got the bad news from a colleague.
And they said, did you hear about the Border Patrol agent? And I said, yeah. And I said, well, you know, it was one of Fast and Furious guns. And there's really not much you can say after that.
2 assault rifles ATF had let walk nearly a year before, similar to these, were found at Terry's murder.
I felt guilty. I mean, it's crushing. I don't know how to explain it. I mean,
Dodson and a dozen other ATF sources have all told the same story to Senator Grassley, who's investigating.
You've tried to get some answers from ATF. What's been the response?
The response has been practically zilch, from the standpoint that documents we want, we have not gotten them, and I think it's a case of stonewalling.
Dodson says he hopes that speaking out helps the family of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry. They haven't been told much of anything about his murder or where the bullet came from.
first of all, I would tell them that I'm sorry. Second of all, I would tell them that I've done everything that I can for them to get the truth. After this, I don't know what else I can do, but I hope they get it.
Dodson says they never did take down a drug cartel. However, he says thousands of Fast and Furious weapons are still out there and will be claiming victims on both sides of the border for years to come. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
Late today, the ATF said it will convene a panel to look into its national firearms trafficking strategy, but refused to comment specifically on Cheryl's report.
And so it has come to pass that your uncle who watches Fox News all day is all worked up about something today. And so it has come to pass that in the span of 27 months, since he told everybody to go break everybody's windows in Democratic Party headquarters because health reform passed, in the stage of 27 months, the break their windows militia blogger guy has now become the man who has led Republicans in the United States Congress to vote the Attorney General of the United States in contempt of Congress today. It's him. This armed
a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
To this militia blogger guy, to the break their windows, break them now guy, this got reimagined as a conspiracy to eliminate the Second Amendment, to take away your guns by selling them to people on the border. If it doesn't sound like it makes sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. This is crazy, right? I mean, the theory here is the Obama administration sold too many guns in order to create gun violence, in order to cause revulsion in the American people about the horrible thing those guns are doing, in order to make people feel more positive about gun control, so then they could get away with taking everybody's guns away secretly someday, after they stop selling all the extra guns to get there. They're being super lax in gun control as a conspiracy in order to be secretly super tough on gun control. What? Yes, what? This is the... somehow being the key term there, right? Again, the idea here is by selling guns, the Obama administration is going to block people from selling guns, right? It's obvious. Take the blinders off, America. They're being super lax on gun control for gun control. That the Second Amendment was going to be eliminated because they upset people by gun violence, which they promulgated in order to upset you so they could get away with gun control. Fox News and the right-wing echo chamber that it elevates is an important phenomenon in American politics. There is a whole world of news and things that are presented as plausible over there that do not translate at all to the rest of the world that does not watch Fox News. But inside that bizarre, factually suffocated bubble of opportunistic, paranoid, cockamamie, factless, break their windows nonsense is most of the Republican Party of the United States of America. That it was a strange day in American politics. If you are a person who gets your information about American politics from what people say in the conservative media, today was like a 5-inch tall headline, day that will live in infamy, huge deal in American politics. But if you are not that, if you are one of the more than 95% vast majority of the country who at any one moment is not watching Fox News, today might not have made much sense.